As introduced, my name is Crystal Peterson. I work with a Neustar who runs registry services for over 300 domain extensions, including the .biz and the .co domain name. I wanted to share with you a little bit about an area that we don't always talk about within the domain name industry, and that is premium domains. Why do we think they're important? What is some of the evolution that has happened within the premium name space? And also, looking at how are these names valued? Are these names really important? Or are they just a fad that is going to fade away and only what's going to be left is standard names? We don't think so, and so that's why I wanted to share with you a little bit about premium names today. Oh, wrong one. There we go. So looking at premium names, what really is a premium name? It's any name that is valued above what we call the standard cost of domain names today. And standard costs can vary. So many registries have different levels of standard costs. You have anywhere from COM, which can be in United States dollars, about $9 to $10, upwards of you have $20 for other domains that are at standard costs, or some are at $50. So anything that is above those standard costs would be considered a premium name. And all of those valuations have been very different over the years. And so when we're looking at why are there premium names, there's many reasons. Going back to even in the early 90s, people will value things that that they look to think will help drive them business. More business equals more traffic equals more money. So if they feel that there will be a name that will help drive business to their site or bring them more customers through an online avenue, they want to make sure that they have that name. We have back all the way to 1997, vacationrentals.com sold for a whopping $37 million USD in 1997. And that was because the owner of that name wanted to keep it out of the hands of Expedia. So he found value in being able to buy that type of name. So we've had investors all along the way that are looking at how is it that I can capitalize and really drive traffic, and what I find premium, I believe will help bring ultimately customers and business my way. So I wanted to talk a little bit about an example. We have invest.biz. There are no public sales records that we've had around invest.biz. But when looking at this site, as I mentioned as an example, what is it that we would look at, and how is it that we would start to potentially value this name? It is a name that is available at one of the aftermarket providers, CEDO, which I'll go into a little bit later. But what is it that we can kind of look to in this name? From the fact that it is a keyword, invest. There are many, many financial type of businesses out there, and people want to be able to drive business directly to their site. So one of the things that sometimes we look at are what are some comparable sales of names that are, of that same match in other extensions. You'll note here that we actually have 2 sales within the .us space that subsequently drove a higher value. So we have anywhere from $1 million for a .com domain. We have $45,000 for .net. All the way down to 3 figures for some of the CCTLDs. But all along the way, you see all of these names are above standard cost because people will provide value. So one of the things that you want to think about, whether you are a business out there that is a financial business that's here today looking at what are some of the cloud services you can get, or Are you a web professional that wants to be able to sell to financial institutions? What would you value, or what would you pay for example, invest.biz? Would you pay over 20,000? Would you pay under 20,000? That's a lot of what we do in the market today. So again, who is buying premium names? Anyone and everyone are buying premium names. You have startups, you have small businesses, you have large businesses, and then you also have individuals who are looking to be able to invest into the market to also be able to make a profit. That is a business that has come around since the 1990s, which is what we call the domain and investor business. But there's a lot of drivers for who's buying these names, whether, as we mentioned from the invest example, whether you want to be able to drive traffic to your site, whether you want to have a good brandable name that you use in your marketing campaigns, whether you want to be able to have branded links. If you think of the example of Twitter, Twitter uses t.co for all of its brandable links. So anything that goes to the Twitter site, they want to have t.co added to that. They found that name was valuable to them, and that was a highly premium name at the time that the .co domain extension launched in 2010. They found that to be highly valuable to them. Another example is Overstock.com, which is a company in the United States, has bought, throughout the years, different O.TLD extensions because they want to be able to own that brand. They want to be able to be known not only as Overstock, but also as O. So they've bought O.co, they've bought O.biz, they've bought O.info, they've bought many different O domain names throughout the years and have found that valuable. Some other examples of some sales that have been more recent, Color.com sold through GoDaddy at $350,000. We also have Talent.biz sold on the Registry platform for $2,500. OrganicHealth.co just sold last month for $1,400. And then Sign.co was most recently sold for $15,000 down to a registrar. And this one, it's the sale is so recent that there's no site up there yet, but we're sure it's probably going to come up soon. And then another one, MB.biz, sold for $5,000, and this was through one of the aftermarket feeds, so through the Afternic feed API. Another example of premium names, I was attending an event in Houston, Texas last month, and we partnered with a Photoshop or a photo booth company. And that photo booth CEO had come to our booth and was helping with our event, and it was really great to meet him. One of the things that he had said was, I find that I want to be able to be found, and if people are looking for photo booth services, I want to be the company that they find first. And so he found it valuable to go spend $1,200 on photobooth.co. So would you, as a web professional, be one of the people that sold that name to him? Or would you let him go somewhere else and pay somebody else because he found that that name was valuable, so he was going to go out and purchase it? So our, and what I'm here to share with you is you want to be the person or the company that is selling those names. You don't want to be able to push that business off to another provider where you might then lose that customer. So going into, well, who does sell premium names? We have individuals. There's private sales that happen all the time. We have aftermarket providers. There are auctions that happen both from a registry perspective, but also from said aftermarket providers. They will many times hold auctions, or different registrars and also web provider platforms will build just to have an auction. Then we also have what we call registry direct premiums, and those are sold very similar to standard names, and they go down directly through registrars and or the reseller network. And then lastly, as I said, through many resellers and web professionals are also selling premium names too. Two of the most famous aftermarket providers and marketplaces for premium names are Afternic and Cedo. Over the years, this has become a standard for where you can get premium names. One of the things about these two places are, though, is if you're not really in our industry, why would you even know that these marketplaces exist? And so what they have done is they have been able to build APIs and feeds that will be able to go directly into different registrar and reseller networks so that you can also be able to provide your customers with the names that are through their networks. Reseller Club has a feed that goes directly through into their search results, as well as many of the other providers. And really what's happened with these marketplaces over the years is as we've looked at valuation, as we've looked at many different things, it's starting to become a standard because prices have been all over the map. You'll find one name that is for $1 million, and you'll find another name that is for $100. How do you know which one is real? Ultimately, a name is only worth how much somebody will pay for it. And so what we've come to find is through a lot of the testing, a lot of the studying that we've done, there is a bit of science behind the arch of valuation, but there's also a lot of not guesswork, but there's a lot of check and see. But with more and more registry premiums coming onto the marketplace, the science is starting to take hold, and we have begun to normalize a lot of the premium names. What you see here is an example of an undisclosed India partner that has a lookup for the name zuzz.co, Z-U-Z-Z.co. And one of the things that we notice is it's not available. So if someone was coming in and wanted that name, they would find not available, can't get it, too bad. Actually, that name is what we call a registry premium, and it is available. However, it is more than the standard cost. So the question is do you want your customers to end up at another site to find the name that they want and get the dreaded not available from your site? Or is there a way that you can then offer these premium name services? As Sridhar had said in his presentation earlier, you want to be the one-stop shop. You want to be able to offer anything and everything. We believe premium names are part of that package. And I think this is on an auto timer for me. So here's another example of some names. LG.biz is available through one of the aftermarket feeds, whether it be Afternic or Cedo, and then shows up onto the registrar's platform. And this partner has been growing in India, and I ended up speaking with them a little bit last week, and that they said that premium names are steadily growing through this region as well. So their sales have been going up, not only on. Is there a way to stop the fact that this is auto forwarding? Somebody? Technical? It's auto forwarding. How do I stop that? Anybody? It's okay. Thank you. So anyway, but this partner has said that their premium sales are growing. And so I want to be able to share with you, you want to be able to capitalize on this service as well. So getting back to pricing, what really is a real price in premium names? Is somebody just trying to sell me for all I'm worth, and it's not really worth that much. Why is it that these names are all over the map? And because there are so many different types of sales, that is why we do see some of that up and down in pricing. However, with registry premiums, with so many names actually becoming available as part of the new GTLD program, it has actually helped to normalize and to steady the premium name market as well. There's only ever one domain name and one extension available, and that's why we have premium names, because people want the exact name and the exact extension that they want, and they will pay a premium for that. But with the many different options out there, we have been able to start normalizing what that value is. And there's a lot of times different timelines. Somebody will want to sell a name and they believe that their name is worth $100,000. They're willing to wait 5 years in order to be able to sell that name. Other people may want to get a short, quick sale. They know that the name they have is valuable, but they're willing to put a little bit of a discount on it. Again, a premium name is only available or only worth what somebody will pay. And it's auto-forwarding again, but that's okay. We even have a lot of what are considered the really low-priced providers that are offering premium names and selling them just like they do any other sales. And we see regular sales go through. So even with customers that go to a provider knowing that it is an extremely low-priced provider, they still then see a premium name, and in their mind they go, oh, well, that name would probably be, thank you. That name would be more valuable, so yes, I'll go ahead and get it. Customers are starting to get used to seeing premium names. They're understanding that every single name is not the exact same cost as every single other name. Just like you have different stocks, just like you have different other assets, homes, things of that nature. Every house is not created equal. Every domain name is not created equal. The different combinations of letters and or numbers do make up value within the domain name space. So there are many different factors that we look at when we're pricing premium names. We look at, what is the keyword value? Many times we're looking at, different search results through Google, through Bing, through many of the other areas. What are the keyword values that you would pay for in PPC? That helps to bring up a value for the actual domain extension itself. Looking at the domain name length. Does it have 12 characters, or does it have 3 characters? Many 1 and 2 character names are extremely valuable across the world and across extensions. What's the availability of other names and other extensions of that same string, more or less? That helps to provide value. Looking at some of the sale listings in the marketplaces. That one's a little bit more of an art because, again, many times people that have acquired a name think, this is the best name that I have. I don't care that it is 60 characters long. It's still worth $1 million. You have to take that into account and say, well, maybe my name is not worth that much. But that's where some of these other factors help to normalize that out. One of the last things that I really want to talk about is how can you really leverage some of these trends? Don't lose your customers because of the fact that you think, oh, well, my customers would never pay for this. Again, like the example earlier, even some of the what we call bargain basement providers are selling premium names, and their customers are wanting those names, which means that your customers are wanting those names. So there are some providers that put a cap. They say, well, I won't sell anything over a $10,000 mark, or I won't sell anything over an X amount of dollars. Do a little bit of testing, just see what is available. You can turn it on easily within your platforms, but again, you will be providing your customers with a service. So it's not that you're trying to take your customer for a ride. It's not that you're trying to get extra money out of them. These names are valuable because these names can help bring them additional customers because, whether it's a keyword, whether it's going to be able to be brandable for their marketing campaigns, this will bring them value, and then they will be happy that you and your services are the ones that brought value as well. Because if you don't, again, you'll lose that customer to another provider because they'll get the dreaded, nope, it's not available on your site. As we've looked over the past 10 years from about 10 years ago, we had where we were just offering hosting, where we were just offering email and standard domain names. And then now, 10 years later, we have the multitude of services from email to, web design to all of those types of services offer and look at putting premium names into those portfolios too. It's an added service. It's something that is not going away. It's not a trend that's going away. In fact, it's getting better valued, better serviced, and is able to be better offered throughout all of the platforms. It is not hard to find premium names, so more and more people are acquiring premium names in order to help themselves do better online. So I want to be able to help you guys do better online too. So with that, thank you very much. I wanted to help catch us up a little bit through some of our time. So I will be around here throughout the day. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. We do have a booth over within the Reseller Club area. You can come by and see us there as well. And have a great day. Thank you.